Alright, I'm going to have a different thumbnail for this one because I tried to get this dang band right here to go over here so I could take an image, a picture of it, but it's not working well. Plus, I don't like the blood red right here. I don't like it, so I'm just going to find a copy of the movie poster and just post it online. Psycho 3 is the directorial debut of Anthony Hopkins. And at first I thought, like, okay, it's like obviously he's a legend playing Norman Bates, and this time he's returning. I'm like, okay, so what can be done? Unlock the terror, unlock the fear. Anthony Perkins stars in and directs the most shocking psycho film of all, Psycho 3. After years in prison, Norman Bates returns home to the Bates Motel when a pretty young woman, Diana Scarwood, runs to the motel in Norman's open arms to escape a scandalous secret. He finally gets a chance at a new life, but he has one murderous skeleton in his closet that will do anything not to share him. It's a new day at the Bates Motel, but the nightmares are just beginning. 1986. I like this one because we get this. Yeah, we get this. I don't want to say ingenue type of woman, but at the same time, we get a really pretty lady coming in here, kind of being a tenant where she is living free of charge, and also kind of a scumbag who's working at the hotel. So I'm like, okay, we get a cool juxtaposition. What direction could we potentially take with this? I'm thinking, okay, first one's freaking phenomenal. Second one is a then modern touch up, and this one's taken the more slasher territory and adding the elements that were needed. Perkins, oh man, he does the most physically demanding role, and also at the same time, emotes probably the best. It's like this isn't like where he's trying to what's the word? Hide everything. It's like now he's fully embracing everything. I mean, let's see, he pretty much eliminates a person in the beginning and hides them in the ice machine that's like right beside room number 1. And I'm thinking to myself, I hope the cop doesn't see it. Cop doesn't see it because there's like one body that's right down there, and he is freaking mortified of it. That he's thinking that the cop is going to get him, Comes pretty dang close. But yeah, and then we eventually get to see this pervert who is having his way with one of the ladies. He's got like a lamp going on and giving like one heck of a show. This guy pretty much chews the scenery, but in the best way possible, saying, "Hey man, don't break my guitar." As he's trying to make it big as a singer in L.A. And what is he hot? What is he hiding? Well, he's a freaking pervert. And he gets into a rather interesting confrontation with Norman Bates. And as I'm watching this, because yeah, he gets a note from his mother saying, "Hey, meet me in room 12." Lo and behold, there he is. They get into something else, but then as I'm looking at everything, I'm like, this is some interesting stuff. Ultimately, he gets knocked unconscious, and as he's about to this puts him inside like a clear bag, but as he's about to drive him wherever, the douchebag comes alive and starts to strangle Norman, brings him down, and then with an homage to the first, the car lands in water this time, not like just a swamp, but just like a pond or whatever. Perkins escapes. I'm sorry. Norman escapes, and in a great scene, and then returns. All the while, the body is right down there, and I'm just thinking to myself, that was intense. That was some intense stuff right there. So they definitely did forego more of the suspense and just go more for the jugular. This is a jugular with the Krillings and everything, So Yeah, it's like this movie. Of course, you have Mother who's still there, where Norman will talk, and then he'll hide like his mouth or whatever. Then, while the mother's voice goes on. I don't know who did the actual female voice, but I thought that was a clever way to hide the differences between them of who's talking. That was pretty clever. You have this kind of nosy journalist, trying to get some information about like who Spool was, and at the ending how she escaped from a clinic, or where she escaped from a mental institution. And I'm thinking, okay, she's going to be an actual presence in the movie, and it felt like they could have used her more. She asked some questions. They go to the nursing home, ask the previous owner of the restaurant, and then ultimately confronts him at the end. I'm like, don't you have any more sleuthing skills, or journalism, or yellow journalism, or whatever? I don't know. It just felt like that needed a little bit more fleshing rather than just the 10 minutes of time that we got. So I have to say, yeah, that was kind of a stinker. As they have the confrontation at the end. Um, Norman is starting to fully take into the mother role, with this what it supposedly seems like, but then he slashes the dummy mother that was there. Unfortunately, the reporter goes down, and also Maureen, which I did not want to see because she was the most likable character in all this. So it just like it did kind of sound like, I didn't feel sad. It's like, oof, that was not pretty. So everything just everything just climaxed all the way up to that, with homages and stuff like that. So in the end, he gets arrested, and well, we also see that he has Mother's hand. Another interesting twist. So it was like he's finally fully embraced it. And I'm like, he's going away for life. So with this being Tony's first directorial role, it's like, he didn't think that it would have been that great. All the people are saying, hey, you did a great job, Tony. They found him to be, very caring and chivalrous, and helped him out with it. So, making sure, like, hey, yeah, hey, you're doing a great job here, Mr. Perkins, and everything. And the lady who played Maureen, Diane, said that he was very caring and thoughtful, so which goes with his reputation. Um, and there's also a piece of trivia saying, like, one of the people were saying, hey, you don't know too much about cameras and lenses, do you, Anthony? But then lo and behold, he surprised them. What was that, a blocking scene or whatever, right? Showing by knowing exactly by the details going on, and he was surprised. So yeah, I don't know. Psycho 3, yeah, it's pretty good. There were maybe a couple of too many homages to the first one with the shower and the butter and everything else, but I think this one's underrated, and it felt like a good conclusion, especially with Bates Motel with it being in color. It did look a little creepy, but in the right way. So yeah, if you have a chance, watch Psycho 3.